Crystals Collide, Flower Guardian, a Monkey Kid AU story written by Coral Animates, also being read by me. Part 2, Safe Haven. Nightfall is starting to approach. It feels like they've been traveling for hours. Eventually, Neza finally comes to a stop at a large grove of trees that reach towards the sky. He sets down Coral on the grass carefully. "Wait here, alright? I'll be right back," he said to her. Coral nods a little as a response to him. Okay. Neza begins to walk through the grove of trees, pushing through the plants and vines until eventually he finds a small cave. He signals her to follow him and keep her voice low as the trees rustle in the wind. "This way, young one. It's safer here," he says. Coral's ears perked up slightly. She's a bit hesitant to follow him, but so far he doesn't seem like a threat. So she put the lotus crystal in her bag and proceeds to follow him into the cave. Once inside, nightfall dawned down on them, and Neza makes a fire and a small little sleeping area for the both of them, so they can keep warm. "This is where you and I could stay for the night, so you can heal from what happened. Though, I couldn't help but notice your bag. What's inside of it?" he asks her. Coral sits down by the fire and sets down her bag, opening it up. "Well, it's nothing too grand, really. However, I've been carrying it around with me to keep this safe." She reaches in and pulls out the book that she's been keeping. It has a crystal flower on the cover. When Neza saw the book, he immediately recognized it. He stares at it in shock. "No way. Is that... You have the Flora Sagittarius?" he said, looking at it in awe. Coral blinks as she has no idea what he could possibly be talking about. The Flora what now?" she questions. "The Flora Sagittarius is a legendary book that details the lives of the flower gods. Where did you get this?" he asks her. The young mystic's ears lowered a bit as she felt nervous on how to tell him how she got this book. See, here's the thing. I kinda stole it from the king." It goes quiet for a moment as he stares at her in disbelief. You stole it from the... He looks at the book and looks back at her. He then begins to scold her like an older brother would to their younger sibling. "Why in the world would you do such a thing? Do you realize you could have been killed?" he says, grabbing the book from her to study it closer. This action caught her off guard. What the... Hey, get that back! She yelled at him. "This right here is a dangerous thing you're holding. Why would you be holding on to something so valuable and sacred to the gods?" he questions. Coral's body jolted a bit at the sudden questioning. I had a reason to, alright? Look, while I was held hostage, I saw the book on his desk, and it had the information, stories, and locations on the other gods and their flowers. I didn't know if it was real at first, but what I did know is that if what that book was saying was true, then he would take you guys, and he would be unstoppable, and I couldn't risk that. So after he failed to break me, I grabbed the book as quickly as possible, and have been avoiding his knights and kingdom for months, she tells him. Neza looks at her, being almost impressed that a child like her could get away with such a powerful item. "I won't lie, I'm impressed by your bravery, but one more thing I must know. You said you were the last of the green flower wielders. What did you mean by that?" As he says those words, Coral begins to explain. To answer that question, the king wanted to gain power of every living thing and rule the lands for himself and his kingdom. So he's been sending his knights to raid villages and capture flower wielders of all kinds, bring them back to the castle and basically extract not only people's power, but their own life force as well, causing them to break, shatter, and die. That's what happened to my family. My town and the green flowers, all of them. Something must have happened when it got to me, because when he was extracting from me, something went wrong. It caused this machine to shut down, leaving me alive, but also with this curse. And these cracks spread when I get badly injured. If they reach my heart, I could break and die, she explains to him. As Neza listened to her tale, he gave her a concerned look, seeing how much she has been dealing with for some time now. I am truly sorry that you had to witness all of that. You shouldn't have had to face it all alone. He pats her on the head, reassuringly, and looks back at the book, looking through the contents from inside, the knowledge it holds. Yes, of course. This is the missing piece we need, he says. Coral was a little confused when he said that. Missing piece? She scooted over beside him so they could both look at the book. Yes, every flower god has their own book. They all are filled with information about their homes and their lives. This book contains the knowledge of the remaining flower gods and what they're known for. He continues to read through some of the pages. This could be the key to finding the others. Coral's ear twitches a little. She figured that he would know some of these guys, considering that he's a god himself. Wait, do you not know them? I mean, you're a flower god yourself. I figured you'd know some of these guys in a sense. She asks him. Neza looks at her. A small frown forms. Unfortunately, I was one of the most recent flower gods created during the creation of this land. I'm 1 out of 8 of them. I had heard tales of the others, but I was never introduced to them properly. We each had our own book, containing information only about our kingdom and Crystal. They've existed for centuries. I've only been a god for a couple 100 years. Coral looks at him in surprise. You mean to tell me there's 7 more gods out there? Well, they're not all gods. Some are demons too, but they are in that god category since they do own their own crystal and book. Like her, for example, the demon of the Night Maria flower. Neza points to her picture. Coral looks at it. Looks like her name is Scorpion Queen? Neza nods. Heard she isn't the most easiest alliance. She's kinda difficult. They both continue to look through the book at the other gods and demons. Wukong, Spider Queen, Bull King, Macaque, Chang'e, Azure, and then they get to the last demon. The most dangerous one of them all. The Lady Bone Demon. The demon of the Nightlocks. A very poisonous flower alongside the Nightshade. She isn't the most likable demon. She will be the most dangerous to find. But she is also the goddess of the most poisonous flower on Earth. It is essential we find her to ensure the world is at peace. The book closes. Neza sets it aside and takes the lotus crystal out of Coral's hand. Coral, this is a very important task. Do you think you can do this? He says, giving her a serious look. Coral's eyes widen, realizing he's basically asking her if she's ready to go on the journey of her life. Wait, me? Neza nods at her. Yes, you're a green flower wielder, just like the flower gods. And you have the missing book that contains information about them. Coral looks down a bit. But I'm no flower god. I'm just a kid. A teenager at best. I could break at any time if I take too much damage. What if I don't have what it takes to find them, to face them? It will take me years to build up enough strength so I don't instantly break on the spot. What if I can't do this? She says with doubt. Neza kneels down to her level. Coral, look at me. He says as his eyes meet her own, looking at her with determination. With your help, we can save this land. You may not be one of the flower gods, but you carry enough power in you right now. Plus, I can help you train so you can face them head on and not break instantly, as well as helping you out with powers that you got and maybe unlocking more of them. But be warned, this training will not be easy. It will take years for you to fully be ready to take them on. Are you willing to do that? He says, holding out his hand, waiting for her answer. Coral gave this some thought. She wasn't sure at first, but she did want to save this land. She looks up at him and then grabs his hand, sealing the deal. All right. Neza gave her a soft smile. Their many years of training will start the very next day. To be continued in part 3. Hope you enjoyed!